I'd like to say good morning to everybody here at Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church, and also all those on Zoom. And for those on Zoom, if you haven't done so already, please turn off your video and mute your audio. This will improve the bandwidth for better sound quality with our services, which were recorded for future access. And just before our final prayers, we'll have an opportunity. No, we're not. Forget that. We can't unblock. Sorry. Okay, I would like to say my little prayer here. I would like to say thank you, Mother, Father, God, for bringing us all together. As we come together, we open our hearts in gratitude for the space, for opportunity, for friendship, and our connection to Spirit. And with this, we say thank you. And I want to say thank you to Kim Luedtke for being our speaker. Yeah, so right now, let's sing Let There Be Peace on Earth. Be right, okay. Okay, I'd like to read the statement of intent. And it is, we continue to be fortunate to have a variety of speakers for Sunday services. By using guest speakers, we gain wisdom from all those who share. This is a church community where we can worship the God of our own understanding, to experience joy and be uplifted, to gain strength and inspiration we can share with others throughout the week. We invite you to join us in this celebration of life, to nourish your spirit, and to enjoy the community of kindred souls. Now I'd like to invite Michael to come up and sing a beautiful song. Okay.
Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away, ere I'll forget all the joy that is mine today. Well, I can't be content, and I'll be a rover. You'll know who I am by the song that I sing. I'll sleep in the gable, I'll sleep in your clover. Who cares what tomorrow shall bring? Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away, ere I'll forget all the joy that is mine today. I can't be contented with yesterday's glories. I can't live on promises, winter through spring. Today is my moment, and now is my story. I'll laugh and I'll cry and I'll sing. Sing it with me. Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away, ere I'll forget all the joy that is mine today.
Thank you, Michael. That was so beautiful. Let's see, I would like to ask Kim to come up now. Oh, no, sorry, we have announcements. Oh, Carol, please come up, Sue. She's going to let us know about some things. Thanks,
Good morning. We had a lovely day yesterday. The board had a lovely board retreat, and we came up with a lot of different things and ideas and stuff that we need to talk about in the future. But one of the things we did talk about was making sure we got out some announcements, some things that we have a tendency to forget late sometimes. One of the things that we talked about is that we are going to be putting a suggestion box/bowl, we haven't decided which yet, at the back of the church. If you have any comments, ideas, questions, concerns, that way you can, if you want to, you can remain anonymous. You could also call and leave a message on the machine, or you can send us an email. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the email address, but I'm sure that we can get that to you. We also in the back have our bowl, our prayer intentions bowl, and we haven't talked about it in a while, but we want to make sure that if you have a prayer request and you want somebody to be prayed over, we do have the bowl, and you can write that person's name down or your own name down or whatever, whoever's intentions that you have, and you can put it in the bowl and we'll bring it up here. Usually we have it when we meditate and pray for people to be healed, that bowl is right here. So we'll be bringing that tradition back. Who's speaking next week? Christy Marie will be speaking next week. So if you want to make sure you put that on your calendar. And if you missed today's session, any part of today, or if you missed last week, or you missed a couple of weeks ago, or whatever, we have a multitude of ways for you to get in touch with us. Also, don't forget, we have our YouTube videos. They do come out. It's not like immediate, but you can look back on previous services and watch the YouTube videos of our services. Also, if you have any questions or things that you want to find out about the church, go to our website. We have a website, LSICC.org, and we also have a Facebook page. I believe it's LSICC.org also. I can't remember. Anyway, so check us out on Facebook, check us out on our website, check out the YouTube videos, and so those are kind of ways we can all continue to keep connected. Some of the other things we want to remind you of is, yes, we will be serving coffee today, right? It's done. The coffee is ready. So when we are done with church, we can go downstairs and drink coffee. But just to keep in mind, social distancing, we're trying to keep everybody safe. And also, we're not going to keep it open for very long. I mean, people have to get places. So we're going to let you stick around for about an hour after service. And let's see, now, one of the other things we wanted to announce and make sure that you're getting ready for, because we've talked about it at our annual meeting, that we are kind of exploring the possibility of moving towards a connection with unity. We will be doing one service a month dedicated to unity. And our first one will be coming up on December 26th, the day after Thanksgiving. We are working on the process of doing a Zoom service with Unity. So that we need some special equipment. We're making sure we have all the right stuff. So on December 26th, we're going to stream a Unity service. It's usually going to be the last Sunday of every month. It's going to, as planned, we plan on having it dedicated to Unity. If something else comes up, something else comes up. Don't forget, if you're interested more in Unity, we also have a Unity books study group on Sunday nights. They meet here at 6 p.m. Or if you want to do it through Zoom, we also have a Zoom connection. Now, do we have any prayer requests? I know Carol does.
Okay. I have a prayer request for my family. And I'm asking for prayers for my sister-in-law, Barb Steger-Colliff, and her family. And there's just been an emergency with her daughter and son-in-law down in Ashland, Wisconsin, and they're working on it. Barb is a longtime member of our church. She's served on our board of trustees, and so please join us in offering up love and support for in the best and highest good for Barb and her family and my family. It's my sister-in-law. Okay, is there anything else? Anybody have anything? Okay. Oh, yes, Steve, please.
Hi. If you caught my talk last Sunday and you're interested in delving deeper into that material, for those of you in the church, there's a sheet on the table in the back with the sources that I had. For those of you on Zoom, I'll put my email out there. If you want to contact me, we could see about exploring this together in a deeper format. So, thank you.
Nice. Okay, with that, I think we'll ask Kim to come forward. Thank you, Kim. Okay.
Good morning. It's nice to see your shining faces, or at least, a little part of your shining faces. Excuse me. I want to start with, Steve, is this okay where I have the microphone? Is this okay? Is this better? Uh-oh. I broke something. Okay. Okay. I wanted to use as a sacred text this morning some words of George Bernard Shaw. And these are his words. This is the true joy of life. The being used up for a purpose, recognized by yourself as a mighty one. Being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clot of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to make you happy. I love those words, selfish little clot. There are quite a few days when I feel like a selfish little clot. Anyway, today what I want to talk about is the work of Jill Bolte Taylor. And I'm going to try to condense a 300-page book and a 4-part webinar into like 20 minutes. So put your thinking caps on. I hope you had your caffeine. Here we go. If you don't know who Jill Bolte Taylor is, I'll tell you she is a brain researcher, Harvard-trained brain researcher. And when she was, I think, 37 years old, she had a stroke. And so at the same time that she was having a stroke, she knew she was having a stroke. And it took her, 7 or 8 years to recover from this. But then she wrote this book called My Stroke of Insight. And she also did a TED Talk about it, and a lot of you have probably seen that because it was one of the first TED Talks, and it was probably the first TED Talk that went viral. So she had a stroke, wrote a book, kind of helped TED get launched, and she's quite an amazing person. And she's also really funny. If you haven't seen My Stroke of Insight, the TED Talk, you might want to tune into that. And now she's written a new book, and this book is called Whole Brain Living. And she draws on her research as a brain researcher, and then she also talks about her experience of living in the right hemisphere of her brain. Because what happened when she had her stroke was her left hemisphere just disappeared. And so she said it was really blissful because you feel connected to everything, and really lovely to be free of her ego for a while. But she also makes it really clear that we need all parts of our brain to operate our bodies and live on Earth in a safe and orderly society. So I know sometimes we get really sick of our egos and we're like, "Ugh, just go away." But we really do need them to live on Earth. And she talks about the 4 characters in our brain, and she says they correlate with our brain's anatomy. In the left hemisphere, we have a thinking character in the front and a feeling character deep inside. And on the right side, right hemisphere, there's a thinking character in the front and a feeling character deep inside. And in the frontal lobes, where we do our thinking, she calls it character 1, and then this is character 4. And in her system, where we're dealing with our emotions, in our amygdala, deep in our brain, we have character 2 and character 3. And Taylor says that if we get to know these characters and call them all together in what she calls a brain huddle, we can understand ourselves better, find better solutions to our problems, and live fuller lives. She says it's important to send the correct brain character to do particular tasks because they're all different, and if we don't consider this, we might be using our brains in a dysfunctional way. And I think I have a fair amount of days when I'm using my brain in a dysfunctional way. I'm sure I could do better. So let me introduce you to the 4 characters. Taylor has given her 4 characters names, and she suggests you do likewise. And during this talk, I'm just going to use all female pronouns because it's so clumsy to go he or she. So I'm just going to use female pronouns. But you imagine your brain characters however you want to see them, and in whatever way makes sense to you. So in the front on the left, we have character 1. And Jill Bolte Taylor calls hers Helen. And she says that's short for Hell on Wheels. She is really funny. And this is the organized, capable, know-it-all, bossy part of us who insists on being on time. She thinks rationally, loves details, and gets things done in an orderly way. She makes plans and follows through and will ride you and guilt you until you send those thank you notes. She values the individual and feels quite separate. She probably believes that everyone should just pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. She loves routines because they are efficient. She never forgets her face mask and is likely to carry a large purse containing all sorts of just-in-case items. If you have a perfectionist in your brain, that is likely your character 1. And then we'll move back and deep inside your brain. Deep inside the brain in the limbic system on the left, we find character 2. Taylor calls hers Abby, short for abandoned. And I call mine Runty. That gives you a sense of who character 2 is. Character 2s are in charge of our safety. She will let you know when you're on thin ice. She remembers what went wrong last time, and she tries to prevent you from doing that again. She can be helpful. You know, she might make suggestions like, remember what happened last time you went to a wedding and took full advantage of the open bar? Let's not repeat that. But character 2 is also very loud and can stop us in our tracks when we want to try new things. She is afraid of pretty much everything. And most of what she worries will never come to pass. I have heard our amygdala, that part of your brain where character 2 lives, likened to a barking dog. You know those little nervous dogs that bark at everything? That's our character 2. But character 2 can be calmed by reminding her that she has other characters that she can call on for help. She can call on 1, 3, 4, any of them, anytime. Recently, we've seen a lot of character 2s running amok in the world throughout this global pandemic. Global pandemic is just food for character 2s. But an important function of our character 2 is that it gets to us to slam on the brakes when needed. If you didn't have a character 2, you might just be out floating around in your other parts of the brain and you might miss that little creature that runs in front of your car. So we need our character 2s. Then we'll move on to character 3. She's the amygdala on the other side, deep in our brain. And Taylor calls hers Pigpen. And character 3 lives in the now. She's creative, wants to have fun, likes to interact with people, try new things, and have adventures. She loves thinking outside the box. And when you are laughing, you are likely experiencing your character 3. Taylor says character 3s can be a whole lot of wonderful, but they are also impulsive and can create considerable messes. And she quotes Mark Twain in explaining character 3. There are things you can learn by carrying a cat by the tail that you can't learn any other way. That's your character 3. But character 3 can also be a hero. They're the ones who say, I didn't even think. I just ran into that burning building to rescue that little kid. I didn't even think. Character 3s are also really good at reading people. Because they are on the right side of the brain, they have access to the big picture, although there's really no sense of past or future. They just see the big picture right now. But they can alert you if someone is really dangerous, and they always know if somebody's lying to you. Characters 2 and 3, who reside in our amygdala, they never really grow up. 2 responds like a frightened toddler, and 3 can be like a reckless teenager. So you probably don't want to take either one of them along to the grocery store when you're in a hurry. And for sure, don't let character 3 have your credit cards. Then we move around to character 4, on the right in the frontal lobes. Taylor calls hers Queen Toad because what her character 4 really likes to do is just go in the woods and watch bugs. Character 4 is altruistic, quiet, kind, compassionate, full of love, delights in just being alive, has a deep connection with nature, lives in the now, and is eternally grateful. She sees the big picture, and she understands and knows that we are all always connected. She is your direct link to Source. Because she is all-knowing, she should probably be leading your life, but might not be due to the volume and fracas kicked up by characters 1 and 2. Character 1 thinks she's the boss, and character 2 wears us down just by being demanding and trying to scare us. Character 4 does need the rest of the team in order to run your Earth life. You come into this life as a character 4, think of a baby, full of wonder and not feeling separate from anything, your mother or anything else. It's all just you. Taylor says, when we are babies, we have no sense of individuality. The 2 hemispheres of your brain are pretty much identical. But as you grow, you learn where you begin and end. Ego cells develop in the left side of your brain and begin to dominate. The cosmic consciousness of the right hemisphere begins to recede into the background, becoming more or less unconscious intuition. Now, you had to develop these characters to help you navigate physical space and linear time. But character 4 is the essence of you and should be in charge of the vision for your life. And that's why we sit down to meditate, so that we can hear her and pay attention to her guidance and feel loved. If you're trying to locate your character 4, you might think of people you admire, like, I don't know, Jimmy and Rosalind Carter or Gandhi, or your inner Kuan Yin. One of my students calls hers her inner Jane Goodall. I think that's sweet. So let's do a little exercise together, and I call this, who you gonna call? So I'm gonna give you some little scenarios, and you tell me which of your brain characters you would send in to take care of that. And just blurt it out, okay? Here's the first scenario. You've invited a dozen or so people to your home for Thanksgiving dinner. Which of your characters are you gonna put in charge of planning the menu, making the grocery list, figuring out when to thaw and start cooking the turkey? Who would do that? 1. Okay, 1 would probably be the obvious choice for that. You know, we don't like that ego bossing us around, but you know, if you've got a turkey to thaw and cook, she better show up. Yeah, you probably don't want like number 3 to do that, because, you know, unless you want to have something like blue pancakes for your entree, you know, get number 1 to do that. Okay, here's another one. You need to select a gift for a child. Which character would you send out to pick up the most fun gift imaginable? That would probably be a good job for 3. She'd probably be really good at that. She knows where all the fun is. But you might want to give her some financial limitations. 3s can get us in big trouble there. Okay, you have a friend in the hospital who's seriously ill. Which character should go and visit her? Probably 4. You could send any of them, well, probably not 2, but you could send any of them, but 4 would probably be your best choice. Okay, here's one more. They made your drink at Starbucks wrong again. The crew today seems a little lackadaisical. Which character might best correct this error? Four would be the most generous. She might just not even care and give him an extra tip. You could send in 1. She would do it in just a polite way, like, you didn't make my drink right, could you make this over? But you know who I would send in, depending on what kind of mood I was in? I might send in number 2 because they never give up and they're going to make sure, I want that drink this way. So it just, depends on what mood you're in. Okay, so we all have all of those characters in our brains, but most of us have one of these characters who's more developed than the others. If you haven't figured out already sort of which one of those 4 is your primary brain character, you can go on Jill Bolte Taylor's website and take a little quiz, and she'll help you sort that out, like who's your main brain character. And Jill Bolte Taylor, surprisingly, as a brain researcher, says her main character is character 3. You would think in her sciencey world that would be odd, but she said she sends her character 1 to work, but she's really a character 3. And if you watch her on any of her videos, she's always waving around a human brain, not usually a model, a real human brain, and she's just waving it around, waving her arms like Rosanna Dana, and like the spinal cord is just flapping around, but like that's her character 3. She's kind of crazy. And she said that sometimes her friends call her at work, and when she answers in her work voice, they'll say, "Oh, hello, Helen, will you have Pigpen call me back?" Because they just really want to be with her fun self. And there are some projects that require the cooperation and skills of all of our characters. For example, if you're going to put up a Christmas tree, you probably want some input from your character 1 because you want to get a tree with a straight trunk that's going to stand up in your stand. And character 2 will keep you from doing unsafe, crazy things like putting burning candles on your tree. Character 3 will make it beautiful and whimsical and fun. And character 4 will savor it and appreciate it like nobody's business. To keep the characters from getting out of their lanes and taking on tasks that don't suit them, Jill Bolte Taylor recommends the brain huddle, the purpose of which is to interrupt automatic circuitry, like how our number 1 just runs on automatic pilot all the time, and emotional reactivity, which is the fuel of our characters 1 and 2, and to consciously choose which one of our characters is going to step forward. Like, for example, I went last week to see if I could be fitted for contact lenses because I'm tired of going to work and trying to see through my steamed up glasses over my mask. And it freaked me out so bad to try to put those things in my eyes. I knew it was Runty, but I couldn't get rid of her. She just wouldn't go away, and I just couldn't get them in. I'm going to keep trying, though. I'm going to send somebody else in next time. Okay, so the brain huddle. Jill Bolte Taylor has given us an acronym, and of course it's BRAIN, B-R-A-I-N, so we can remember the parts of the brain huddle. And I have some handouts. Carol, would you pass these out for me? This row. And this is how she says we go about a brain huddle. B is for breathe. She said that's where you begin when you want to do anything that takes your conscious awareness. B is for breathe. So just focus on your breath. And then that kind of lets you hit the pause button so that you kind of take your attention off whatever you were thinking about before. Interrupt your emotional reactivity and bring your mind to the present moment, just with a focus on yourself. So the first part is to breathe. And then the next part, R. R is for recognize. Recognize which of the 4 characters' circuitry you are running in the moment. Like right now, when you're listening to this, maybe you're focused and paying attention. Maybe you're even taking notes if you're at home. You're in your character number 1. Maybe you're feeling restless and anxious and you think you should be doing something else. That's probably your character 2. Maybe you're curious, but only kind of paying half attention, or like if you're at home, maybe you're curious and you're doodling or you're doing something else. That's your number 3. And if you're just appreciative and present and you don't even care what I'm talking about, but you just are happy to be here, that's your number 4. Okay, so that's B and R. And A is for appreciate. So whichever of those characters you find yourself exhibiting, you want to appreciate that character and that you have all 4 characters available to you at any moment. Like when I was putting this talk together, like Carol called and said, "Do you want to speak in church?" And character 3 went, "Yeah, yay, yippee, let's go speak in church." And then character 1 said, "Well, let's just sleep on it." And then character 2 said, "I don't know, it's scary. You have to get up in front of people, and what if they don't like what you say? And you had that book report in 2nd grade that didn't go very well." And she's got the whole history of things. But I don't know, somehow they all came together and we put this together. Okay, so we've got B, R, A. I is for inquire. So you inquire within and you invite all 4 characters into a huddle so they can collectively and consciously strategize your next move. So any concern that you have, any problem that you have, you can call a brain huddle and then just sit down with your 4 characters and ask them what they think. Then N is for navigate. Navigate your new reality with all 4 characters bringing their best game. So as you sit down with all 4 of them, and make sure they're heard, because especially Runty, if you don't listen to her, she's just going to keep on you. But if you listen to her, sometimes she'll just settle down like, "Okay, I let you know. I let you know not to poke those things in your eyes, but if you're going to do it anyway, I'm just going to step back." So you got to listen to them. Okay, so we have been working our left hemispheres quite a bit this morning. That was a lot of words and structures and concepts and ideas. But that's not the only way to understand our 4 brain characters. So we're going to do a little meditation for our right brains in order to further familiarize ourselves with our 4 characters. And at the end of the meditation, we'll put the brain huddle into action. So I invite you now to just get comfortable and close your eyes. And we'll do a little of Dr. Sue Morter's central channel breathing. So if you would please imagine that you are breathing in through the top of your head. And you're bringing that energy down to fill up your belly. And then exhale through your legs and out into the ground. Then inhale through your feet and bring the air up to your belly. And exhale up your torso and out the top of your head. And inhale through the top of your head into your belly. And exhale through your legs down into the ground. And breathe up from the earth through your feet. And exhale out to the sky. And inhale from the sky. And exhale to the earth. And inhale from the earth. And exhale to the sky. And with your eyes still closed, recognize that we are surrounded by divine white light and we are completely safe. And keeping your eyes closed, to signal our pituitary glands that we are ready to alter our state of consciousness, please take a gentle breath in and gently roll your eyes up and back. And hold both breath and eyes and hold it, and release. And we're going to repeat that one more time. So take a gentle breath in and gently roll your eyes up and back and hold both breath and eyes and hold it and release. And now we're going on a little journey to visit with the 4 characters of your brain. So allow yourself to sink deeply into the awareness of your brain. And we're going to go for a little walk. We'll start at the left front cortex. Knock on the door and see if your character 1 is at home. Her doorstep is swept clean, and when she lets you in, her surroundings are tidy. She might present as a 50s housewife, a CEO, a teacher, someone who's got it all together. She's probably doing something like baking bread from grain she grew herself while writing a nonfiction book and finding a cure for cancer, all the while babysitting her grandchildren. And she introduces herself to you. Take note of her name. Express that you are interested in working with her along with the other 3 parts of your brain. If she's feeling stressed, she might take you up on it. Or she might be resistant if she's feeling the need to be in control. Just try to get a sense of her and what's important to her. Express your appreciation of her and pay her a compliment. And then walk on a little further, moving to your character 2, deep inside your brain. You might find her snuggled under a weighted blanket or maybe hiding under the bed. She is surrounded by memorabilia from your past. Tell her that you'd like to get to know more about her and that you appreciate her emotional honesty. Thank her for your efforts to keep you safe. Convince her that you will listen to her and consider her needs when you make decisions. Ask her what she'd like to be called. Before we go, tell her that you like her bunny slippers. Next, we'll move on to your character 3, who lives right next door to character 2. She's probably dancing around, or maybe she's painting. She'll welcome you in and be so happy to see you. She'll have so much to tell you, and all of it is exciting to her. She might want to mud wrestle or tell jokes or play cards. Let her know that you're up for adventures with her. She'll have dozens of suggestions for what you might call her, and she'll love all of them. And last, we'll visit your character 4. You might find her sitting in front of an altar with candles lit, or out in her garden observing honeybees. She will welcome you and sincerely want you to be comfortable with her. She will listen to your requests and participate without reserve. You will feel like you've known her forever. She is happy you are going to work at creating a brain huddle, and she knows how to be a servant leader for the greatest good of all. Her name might be obvious, or it might seem like a mystery that's on the tip of your tongue, and it will reveal itself to you at exactly the right moment. She invites all the other characters to her garden and offers them food and drink and comfortable seating. She suggests they do a little check-in about who they are and what they are hoping for from the brain huddle. Listen in on their conversation, remembering that we need all 4 characters to come together for whole brain living. Character 1 usually insists on going first, so listen to what she has to say. Character 2 and 3 do rock, paper, scissors to see who goes next, so listen to first one and then the other. And your character 4 goes last. Character 4 graciously tells them that she appreciates all of them and asks if they'd like to try a brain huddle for problem solving. So choose a concern for your brain huddle. What's been on your mind lately? What's something that you worry about or something that you keep coming back to? So take that concern and get perspectives from all 4 characters. What do they think about this? What's their input to your challenge? We'll take a little moment just to do this. Who should take the lead with this challenge, and what tasks might be divvied up to which characters? Knowing that you can come back and create a brain huddle anytime, thank all of your characters for their participation and for their being. And as they each disperse to their home turf, take a few nice breaths of conscious awareness. And begin to wiggle your fingers and toes a little bit. And when you're ready, open up your eyes. So now you've met the 4 characters of your brain according to Jill Bolte Taylor. Maybe just knowing that they are there will help you understand your own behavior. Maybe your relationships will improve when you realize that you're arguing because both of you are in character 2. Maybe you'll find the brain huddle a useful tool. And then I'd like to end with the conclusion from Whole Brain Living. Jill Bolte Taylor says, "You are the life force power of the universe with manual dexterity and 2 cognitive minds. You have the power to choose, moment by moment, who and how you want to be in the world. Right here, right now, you can step into the consciousness of your right hemisphere, where you are the life force power of the universe. You are the life force power of the 50 trillion beautiful molecular geniuses that make up your form, at one with all that is. Or you can choose to step into the consciousness of your left hemisphere, where you become a single individual, a solid, separate from the flow and separate from all that is. These are the we of your 4 characters. Which do you choose, and when? I believe that the more time you spend choosing to run the deep inner peace circuitry of your right hemisphere, the more peace you will project into the world, and the more peaceful our planet will be." And then, because she's a TED Talk person, she says, And I still think that's an idea worth spreading. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kim. Interesting, and I'm going to explore this. So, okay. I would like to ask somebody to bring our offering baskets up here, and then I'll go play In the Silence, and if Michael, you will assist me in that. 74, yeah. Just help.
In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light now you find that you know peace of mind. In the silence, your path is paved in gold, and all your dreams unfold. Love is there. Peace is there. Truth is there. God is there.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, I would like to say blessings to our offering today. Blessings to our offering today, and deep gratitude for everyone. And it's just exciting how we are moving forward, and we appreciate all your gifts. Thank you, everybody. Amen. Okay. Michael, would you like to sing one more? Of course you would. I see that big smile.
I want to thank Kim for her message. Interesting for so much of my life I've been dealing with that inner mental battle, that conflict, that argument going on in my head, the insecurity, the form and structure part of it. It's got to be correct, it's got to be perfect, all that stuff. And that number 4, that's the one that really wants to step out, that really wants to say what it needs to say. And it brought me to this song. When Kim talked about what she was going to talk about today, I went into some of Dr. Taylor's work, and didn't totally understand it, but now I have a better understanding. And I also have a better understanding of my own process. Anyway, this song is it's really about the message that I have always wanted or needed to express. Big part of who I am. Okay. Some people have called me the good humor man. That's usually when I'm handing out ice cream, but that whole thing about joy. Okay. So it goes. Welcome to my morning. Welcome to my day. I'm the one responsible. I made it just this way. To make myself some pictures, see what they might bring. I think I made it perfectly. I wouldn't change a thing. Welcome to my happiness. It makes me smile. And it pleases me to have you here for just a little while. while we open up the spaces and try to break some chains. And if the truth is told, they will never come again. Welcome to my evening, the closing of the day. I could try 1,000,000 times, never find a better way to tell you that I love you. And all the songs I play are to thank you for allowing me inside this lovely day. Welcome to my morning, welcome to my day. You know I'm the one responsible, I made it just this way to make myself some pictures, to see what they might bring. I think I made it perfectly, I wouldn't change a thing. La-di-da, la-di-da-da-da-da. La-da-da, la-di-da-da-da-da. Thank you.
Michael, thank you so much for all your gifts of music every Sunday when you're here. Thank you so much. Wow. I would like to say the church affirmation is on your card. And we totally accept the belief that God is in charge of the affairs and directions of Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. And I'm sorry. We know that as our thoughts of trust and joyful anticipation join in harmony with the thoughts of all the members of this fellowship, we attract the right ministerial leadership to our spiritual community, and we are grateful. Yes, and so I'm going to close with our unity prayer. I love, okay. The light of God surrounds me, the love of God enfolds me, the power of God protects me, the presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And thank you, everyone. So I'd like to finish with God be with you till we meet again. It's in 383. I'm sure we already know the words, but unless they're already on the card, I can't ever remember. They are. Thank you, everyone. We do have a coffee downstairs. The pot is full. If you want. Let me know if it's too strong or too weak. I was told 3 scoops. I have no clue if it's going to be good or not, so I'll be glad to hear. So anyway, and so we'll be here until like about 12:30, and then we're going to be locking up after that because we have other things going on in our own individual lives. And I'm just grateful for you all being here, and for those on Zoom, thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Okay, bye.